Alright guys, I'm live. Gonna wait on some folks to get on here and we will get started. Oh me. Now I don't need that. I need my signal to stay up. Alright. We should be good in here. Alright. Waiting on a few folks to get on. Alright. Hope everybody is doing well out there. We're going to talk about psoriasis. We're going to talk about gut health. Right? We are going to talk about anti-inflammatory diet. All right. So, get a few more folks on here, and we will get started. Hey, Christy. We're going to be talking about gut health today. All right. Gut health. Eddie. Got just a few more folks. We're going to get on here, and then we will get started. All right. Hope you guys are having a good day. It is, the weather's not bad. I mean, it's a little chilly outside, but weather's not bad at all. All right. Good deal. Hey, Eddie. All right. Give it just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. See if we get a few more folks on here. A few more folks on. Oh, me. What's up, Larry? All right. Like I said, I think it's almost 1. And we are going to get going here. Just a second. All right. I said we're gonna give it the 1 minute rule here. 1 minute rule. Let a few more folks get on, and then we will get started. Good deal. Good deal. All right. All right. Like I said, 1 minute rule. Let a few more folks get on, and then we will get started. And I will apologize up front. My board is a little far off. Not ideal. I'll try to write big when I write so you can see what I'm writing. But like I said, and then what we'll do is at the end, all right, if you have questions, feel free to just put them in the comments and I will answer those questions, all right, before we finish up here, all right. So, like I said, just give it just a few more minutes, and then we are going to go, all right? All right. So, here we go, all right? I'm going to talk about gut health, all right? Now, what I will tell you is, first of all, is this, all right? I'm going to talk about some things, and anything I talk about, if you're on any kind of medication for this particular thing that's autoimmune or that's, this whole talk is basically about psoriasis, all right? But if you're on medication, don't stop taking your medication, all right? You want to implement what I'm going to tell you, and then you want to make sure that you work with your doctor if you decide you want to come off your medication. Always make sure you work with them. There's nothing in this presentation that you're going to take that you can't find in common food, all right? So shouldn't be any problem with medication, all right? So like I said, if you guys are ready, we're going to get started. Now, what I will tell you is this, all right? Back in 2011, some of you may know or some of you may not know, I was diagnosed with psoriasis, all right? And I had psoriasis basically both elbows, lower back, right into my crack area, right? And then I had psoriasis on the back of my scalp, right? And you could feel on the back of my scalp, it felt like ridges, right? And it itched constantly, especially on the elbows and on the lower back area, right? Got to the point where I couldn't even hardly do crunches because it would irritate it and just unbearable, right? So what I did was I got diagnosed with it, and the doctor wanted to do a couple things, all right? Like I said, number one, gave me some cream to use on the rash, all right? It was steroid cream. And then she also wrote me a prescription for autoimmune medication, which I did not take. In fact, I refused to even take the prescription. A lot of autoimmune medication they're really, really hard on you and have a lot of negative side effects. So what I did was I went home and I started doing my own research, and I started applying what I found, all right? And what I'm going to talk to you today about is basically everything that I found. I'm going to try to get this all done in about 30 minutes. But like I said, I don't want to rush through it either. All right? So everything I found basically pointed back to my gut health. All right? And pretty much everything I found pointed back to my crappy diet. All right? And back then, I had a horrible diet. All right? I would drink anywhere from 4 to 6 20-ounce Dr. Peppers a day. My typical breakfast consisted of a Dr. Pepper and 2 honey buns, all right? I mean, my diet was horrible, all right? Absolutely horrible. So that was the first thing I had to do. I had to clean up my diet, all right? So, like I said, one of the first things I did, and I'm going to flip through my notes so I don't forget anything. The first thing I did was I eliminated or reduced as much sugar as I could get out of my diet. All right. I stopped drinking Dr. Pepper. In fact, I have not had a Dr. Pepper since January of 2012. All right. That's how long it's been since I had a Dr. Pepper or a soda in general. All right. You've got to get rid of sugar, all right, at any cost, because sugar actually will make your gut start growing a yeast that just destroys your gut lining. All right. Any type of sugar, if it's in high quantities, it's going to kill you. All right. Like I said, I got rid of soda. You got to get rid of things like sweet tea. Cookies and snacks, you want to limit those. Now, one thing I will tell you, I am not a purist. All right, I don't just say you got to get rid of this, got to get rid of that, get rid of that. Man, I'm a realist. All right, I like to eat stuff, and I like to eat things that are good. All right, so you gotta walk a fine line. But what I would tell you is, if you have psoriasis, if you have an autoimmune thing going on, you've got to get rid of sugar, all right? As much of it as you can. Now, once again, I'll go back. Last night, did I have a blizzard from Dairy Queen? Yes, I did, all right? But I limit it. I don't have it every night. Once a week, all right? It's fine, but you've got to, for the most part, get rid of it. Like I said, if you drink soda, and I will tell you, even diet soda, a lot of the stuff they use in diet sodas will destroy your gut health, all right? So even diet drinks you want to get rid of, all right? So, the first part of it's almost like if you're diabetic, type 2 diabetic, you got to get rid of that sugar, all right? Now, another thing, and I don't even mention it in my notes, but I use intermittent fasting, and that is a great way to shove that sugar content down, all right? Next thing, processed foods. All right, a lot of foods that you don't think about. pasta, all right, that raises blood sugar levels quickly, all right, and can cause problems. I hardly ever eat pasta. Another food that is an inflammation food that most people don't think about is milk. All right, guys. I will say you can never drink milk, but you want to, early on especially, if you have psoriasis, full-blown psoriasis, you just want to eliminate milk, all right? Get rid of it. Then if you want to gradually add it back in after you get rid of your symptoms, you can do that and kind of see how it goes. Other things, crackers, potato chips, things of that nature. And I know right now you're thinking, well, Jeff, man, you are telling me to get rid of everything that's I love, all right? And that's, the bottom line is if you want to get rid of psoriasis or other autoimmune problems, the first thing you got to do is attack this diet, and you got to get rid of stuff that's going to cause inflammation, all right? One other thing, all right, and I tell folks this a lot when you're trying to lose weight, but it's the same thing when you're dealing with autoimmune. Cereal, all right? Get rid of cereal, all right? Don't eat it. Stop eating it, all right? Cereal's another thing that can cause inflammation, all right? And then the last thing, and this is a hard one, all right? Bread. You want to limit bread. Once again, do I have a bun with my hamburger occasionally? Yes, I do, all right? But for the most part, I really steer clear of bread. Don't eat it very often. So that's the first thing, all right? So anything that's going to raise blood sugar levels quickly, right? You want to get rid of, right? Want to get rid of it. Now, next thing, right? There's a few other things you want to do because the reason I want you to get rid of sugar is it destroys your gut lining, all right? And let's just go back. Let me step back a minute, all right? Let's talk about why you want a good gut lining, all right? So, your gut, it contains your immune system, all right? Your gut, I think Socrates called it your second brain, all right? Your gut is very, very important. And now, the thing about your gut is designed to be a closed system, all right? See my fingers? It's designed to be closed. It's only supposed to let nutrients into your bloodstream. However, if your gut becomes like my gut did when you're drinking lots of soda, eating honey buns, eating lots of things you shouldn't do, your gut goes from being a closed system to an open system, right? See all those big holes in my gut now? That's what happens, all right? And what it does is it leaks, for the most part, it leaks trash into your bloodstream, right? And that trash causes your immune system to attack, all right? And like I said, it wants to attack things that are harming it. And what happens is it winds up becoming overactive. And like in the case of psoriasis, it attacks your skin cells, right? And what happens is basically your skin cells go into hyperdrive, and they grow so fast, so quick, they don't slough off. And that's what causes the itching and the rash. And that's why when you scratch it, if you've ever had psoriasis, you scratch it, it scales off. I mean, it can cause a mess in your clothes, all right? So you want to shut that down, and you want to get your gut back from that back to that. You want to get it tightly sealed, all right? And your gut has a mucus lining, and that's what you want. You want the thickest mucus lining you can get to keep everything that's supposed to be inside, and only let the nutrients out. Now, so, like I said, you eat a lot of sugar, it makes holes in your gut, and that's what you want to avoid, all right? Now, there's other things that can cause this, all right? Certain medications, and I'm not going to go down a whole list of medications, but certain medications, but one in particular that if you're taking a lot of, you want to get off of it, all right? And that is basically over-the-counter anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, all right? Ibuprofen will destroy your gut lining, all right? And it's one of the harshest things you can use, all right? Other things, these are some things that antibiotics, all right? If you take one round of antibiotics it will destroy most of your good gut bacteria. Now it gets some of the bad too, but it will totally cause havoc. And that's why a lot of folks wind up with autoimmune problems after an illness, right? Because they take some kind of antibiotics and it basically just destroys their gut. And then what happens is if you don't do the things you need to do to repair that gut bacteria, your immune system can just go haywire, right? So you want to lay off, I mean, if you get in it, don't get me wrong, if you get an infection that you need, strep, what I can't even think of some of the others, but if you get an infection of that nature, then you need to make sure you do go ahead and take those antibiotics, but you need to make sure you take steps to repair it after the fact. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Now, one other thing that a lot of folks don't think about destroying their gut, but believe it or not, guys, tap water can cause gut issues, right? And you say, well, Jeff, how does tap water, right? Tap water, what do? They use chlorination to kill the bacteria in the water. Well, guess what? That same chlorine, have you ever, ran tap water and you say, all of a sudden you're like, man, that smells like chlorine, right? That water is going to kill, not only does it kill the bacteria in the water, guess what? It kills the bacteria in your gut as well. Causes problems, all right? So you either want to get a water filter or you want to get bottled water, or one thing I've learned is you can go get real spring water, all right? And there's a website, and I'll have to find it here real quick, my notes. There is a website that's called, let's see here, you find it, findaspring.com, right? Findaspring.com. It's all one word. And you can find spring water that you can go get, and, keep your gallon jugs, all right? And go get it. I mean, one of the closest to me is in Heber Springs, Arkansas, right? You can go up there and fill your jugs with the spring water, and that's some of the best water you can have, all right? There's also some in hot springs as well here in Arkansas, all right? In fact, there's several springs, believe it or not, in Arkansas where you can get this water. If you go to findaspring.com and you put in your state, it'll pull up all these places you can go and actually get real spring water. All right, so like I said, just to recap that, all right? Ibuprofen, things like ibuprofen, get rid of, all right? Antibiotics, only take it when you have to, and then you got to repair that gut once you're done, all right? And then the other thing is lay off the tap water or get a filter for it, and or, like I said, get you some spring water or drink bottled water, all right? Now, we've talked about all this stuff that you can't have, all right? And you're like, I'm depressed, Jeff, all right? All you're telling me is what I can't have, and now I need to know what I can have, right? So this is really, once again, I would tell you probably the number one thing that started the repair process for me was getting off the sugar, right? Because I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm skinny and I was working out, but I was well on my way to becoming a type 2 diabetic, right? There's not a doubt in my mind the way I was eating. I was going to be a type 2 diabetic, right? So get rid of that stuff. Now we're going to add the good stuff, right? And this accelerated the process of me getting better, right? The first thing, how many of you guys have ever heard of probiotics, right? Probiotics. A lot of times you can go, and I'm not going to lie to you, I take a probiotic supplement every single night, right? However, all right, another thing I do is I eat fermented vegetables. I either eat sauerkraut or kimchi every day, right? And the thing about this is this: when you buy the kimchi or sauerkraut, you cannot cook it. If you cook it, it kills the bacteria. You just wasted it, right? You got to eat it cold and you got to make sure that whatever you buy has the live bacteria in it, meaning it can't be pasteurized. If it says it's pasteurized, it's no good. All right, it's got to be cold. It's got to be unpasteurized. All right, so you get this, and a lot of folks go, well, how much do I have to eat, Jeff? That sounds pretty bad. All right, if you can get a tablespoon a day, all right, that is going to help you grow your bacteria. In fact, what they tell us is a tablespoon of fermented vegetables has 20 times the bacteria of a probiotic. All right, so it basically has 20 times the probiotics in a tablespoon of fermented vegetables as what you would get in a pill. All right, and I can tell you guys, kimchi. I bought kimchi. I think it's about $3 for a thing, and that thing will last me for a month. All right, you buy probiotics, it's going to cost you $20-$25 a bottle. All right, and like I said, don't get me wrong, I still take a probiotic supplement, but I'm telling you, you start off, you got to get the fermented vegetables. All right, now there's other things you can use, and once again, if you like dairy, kefir is a way you can still get some milk products in your diet, but at the same time you're increasing that bacteria you need. All right, so kefir is a fermented type of milk. All right, or dairy product. Maybe that's the way I should put that. And then there's also a thing called kombucha. All right, and it's another drink, and it's another way to get good bacteria into your gut. All right, so like I said, those are just some things you've got to put the probiotics in. Once again, probiotic supplement is another way to do it, but I would tell you there's no match for fermented foods. All right, those are going to be your best solution. All right, and like I said, you don't need a lot of it, just a tablespoon a day. All right. Now, the next thing you need a food called prebiotics. All right, so you got probiotics and you got prebiotics. All right, probiotics is it's actually the live bacteria. The prebiotics are just as important. All right, prebiotics are fiber that gives these bacteria a food source. All right, and it gives them a place to live and grow. Vegetables, most vegetables are prebiotics. All right. Let me get my list here. Flip on over to my notes. Some good ones, right? Mushrooms, good prebiotic. Believe it or not, and a lot of people tell you don't eat bananas, especially like if you're trying to lose weight. I'm telling you, eat a banana a day. Banana is one of the greatest things in the world to help nourish good gut bacteria. Right? Onions, sweet potatoes, avocado, and let me just give you, for instance, and once again, we'll talk about this in a minute. I want you to lay off the fruit juice because fruit juice is loaded with sugar, but there is one fruit juice you need to add to your diet, all right? And that fruit juice is pomegranate juice, all right? Pomegranate juice. And just to give you, for instance, all right, there's a certain bacteria, and man, these bacteria, they have names like that long, all right? There's certain bacteria that helps basically grow that mucus lining that protects your gut lining, all right? And what they found was that pomegranate juice makes this bacteria grow like crazy, and that's what you want, right? In fact, what they found was there was a research study done, and nowadays in cancer treatments, they're learning to use your immune system because, cancer is basically, most of us have cancer floating in our body at any time, right? It's just, for the great majority of us, our immune system attacks it, kills it, gets rid of it, all right? What they found is they're using immunotherapy to fight cancer a lot more these days. And what they're doing is this pomegranate juice, they found that if you don't have this certain bacteria that causes that mucus lining, the immunotherapy for cancer doesn't work. All right? Basically, it doesn't work. But they found that if you got these bacteria that grows this mucus lining, immunotherapy works very, very good and very, very efficiently. What they were doing was they were doing this research, and they found that people who drank pomegranate juice on a daily basis grew these bacteria. I mean, they just grew like crazy, right? So you want to make sure you don't want to go overboard. 4 to 6 ounces of pomegranate juice a day, right, is enough, right? But these are prebiotics that help grow the bacteria in your gut that you need to grow, right? And you've got trillions, right? Did you hear me? That's with a T. Trillions of gut bacteria in your gut that helps you, right? Even good and bad, that helps you basically have a healthy immune system, right? Now, next thing, guys, the next thing I found were some spices, right? So if you got your probiotics, you got your prebiotics. Next, I added some spices, right? And if you know me for any length of time, you'll understand. I swear by a spice called turmeric, all right? Some people call it turmeric. I call it turmeric, whatever you want to call it, right? It doesn't matter. It is a yellow spice. It's, if you've ever had mustard, you've had it, right? It's found in almost all Indian food, right? And it's basically a very, very potent anti-inflammatory. And that's the other thing, right? When you have poor gut health, or your gut lining, you let that trash in your gut, then what happens is your inflammation goes way up, right? What you want to do is you want this turmeric because it helps bring inflammation down, right? And here's the thing, right? Like I said a while ago, ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is bad for you. What does ibuprofen do? It's an anti-inflammatory, but there's a lot of side effects, right? With turmeric, what kind of side effects are there with turmeric? 0, right? Now, I will say this. If you've ever had gallbladder issues, you don't want to go overboard. But let me tell you what. People who say, well, people who have gallbladder issues shouldn't take turmeric, I would say, okay, are you telling them not to eat mustard? All right? Because I can guarantee you, anyone that's had gallbladder issues has had mustard. All right? So as long as you don't go overboard, you can have turmeric. All right? Now, the other thing, another spice I use daily, cinnamon. All right? Cinnamon. And once again, it's another basically anti-inflammatory, and it helps basically also manage your blood sugar. All right? There's a few more. All right? Now, garlic can be considered a vegetable. And actually, you can see garlic as a prebiotic, but also garlic, I put it as a spice, and it works both. It's prebiotic. It helps as a detox, and then it also helps as a anti-inflammatory. Ginger, and then the other thing, if you're taking the turmeric, you've got to make sure you get black pepper in your diet with that. When you take the turmeric, you want to take the black pepper, all right? Because the black pepper is what opens the cells up and lets the curcumin, which is in the turmeric, do its job, all right? So anytime you're taking turmeric, you got to have black pepper with it, all right? All right, moving along. Vitamins, all right? There's certain vitamins that you want to make sure you're getting plenty of in your diet. The first one is vitamin D, all right? Vitamin D. Lots of people are vitamin D deficient. And you guys know where the best source of vitamin D is, right? It's not in a pill, right? It's actually not even in food, right? Your best source of vitamin D is sunshine, right? Now, you heard me say, most people are vitamin D deficient, right? If you don't get out in the sun a lot, there's a good chance you could become vitamin D deficient. The other thing is, if you wear sunscreen all the time, you can become vitamin D deficient, right? Sunscreen blocks the rays that basically helps you make vitamin D, right? So once again, you've got to walk a fine line. You don't want to get sunburned, but you want to get right on the edge, right? Because that's basically where that vitamin D is basically functions the best, or you produce the most of it, right? It's right on the edge of sunburn, right? So you got to walk a fine line. Don't want to basically get a sunburn, but you need to get out in the sun without basically sunscreen for a period of time. And the more skin you can get, the better. All right. Now, so vitamin D, you got to increase your vitamin D. The next thing, all right, there's a vitamin. How many of you guys have ever heard of vitamin K? I know. If you know anything about vitamin K, you know vitamin K is essential for blood clotting, all right? But what they found over the last 10, 15 years is there's two types of vitamin K, all right? There's vitamin K, I guess K1, and then there's vitamin K2, right? We all need to make sure we're getting plenty of vitamin K2 into our diet. Once again, that's another thing that a lot of people are deficient in. And there's two types of vitamin K2. There's there's more than two, but there's vitamin K2 MK4 and vitamin K2 MK7. And you need to get both of those into your diet, all right? And really, there are foods you can eat that contains this green leafy vegetables, all right? But I take a supplement. I take a supplement that contains vitamin K1, vitamin K2, MK4, vitamin K2, MK7. I take it every single day, all right? And once again, it actually, you just need that as part of your diet, all right? Two more things. Magnesium. Most of us are magnesium deficient, and you want to get magnesium diet. I would tell you probably don't want to go above 300 milligrams a day with magnesium. And you say, well, why not, Jeff? And here's the thing. Don't go overboard or you will be in the bathroom, all right? Magnesium is what is in most laxatives, all right? And you don't want that, all right? You don't want that at all. You want to make sure that you get magnesium in, but you don't want to go overboard. So 250, 300 milligrams a day is going to be plenty. But like I said, you need that. And then one other thing is vitamin C. And I take a vitamin C supplement. In fact, all these things we just talked about, with the exception of vitamin D, and vitamin D actually comes with my vitamin K2, so I do get that in a supplement form. But all of these are in supplements. Vitamin C, about 1,000 milligrams a day, is not going to hurt you at all. Vitamin C. All right. Now, next, you want to add some fat to your diet. All right, you want to add fat. And fat, the best source of fat is fish fat. All right. However, if you live where I live, you don't get a lot of seafood, all right? So it's hard to get your fish or your fat in your fish. Now, good sources for fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna, and make sure that it's oil-in tuna. Let's see here. Sardines, anchovies, those are all good sources of omega-3 fats. Myself, guess where I get my omega-3 fats? I get it either through fish oil or krill oil, because fish is not a part of my main diet, all right? You want to make sure olive oil. Get olive oil, put olive oil on your vegetables, put it on your salads, and even I've adopted the Mediterranean way of doing olive oil. Put it on your meat, all right? Coconut oil is another good fat, and a lot of people say, well, don't coconut oil have saturated fat? Yes, all right, but that's a whole different lecture. Saturated fat is not as big a player in heart disease as they once thought it was. So put some coconut oil in your diet. Now, another thing, coconut oil is good for your rash, all right? Like I said, if you have psoriasis, has a rash, coconut oil is good for that as well. And then eat nuts, all right? Walnuts, almonds. you only want about a quarter cup a day, right? But put some nuts in your diet. Now, one more thing, all right? Drinks, all right? Drinks, things you want to avoid. If you got autoimmune issues, if you have psoriasis, I've already told you, cut out the soda, all right? Cut out the sweet tea, all right? Get rid of it. Diet drinks, like I said, a lot of the stuff in diet drinks cause problems with your gut, all right? So get rid of them, all right? Sports drinks, a lot of folks will switch from soda to Gatorade thinking that's better. It's not, all right? For the most part, either you're going to get the sugar, that's what's going to make it taste palatable, or you're going to get some kind of artificial sweetener, all right, that's going to cause problems as well. Then fruit juice is another thing that people mistake, all right? Fruit juice has as much sugar as a soda, all right? So you want to steer clear of fruit juice. Now, once again, you heard me say pomegranate juice, and you're like, well, Jeff, you're talking about both sides of your mouth. Small amounts, 4 ounces, that's not a lot, all right? 4 ounces a day, it's very little, all right? And then the other one that's going to hit a lot of people right in the gut, all right? Alcohol, all right? Alcohol is another thing that will destroy your gut, all right? Destroy your gut health. You know, 1 beer a day, probably not going to be a problem, all right? But 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, yes, all right? And probably don't want to even do a beer every day, all right? But you know, one every once in a while, not going to be a big deal. Like I told you, I'm a realist, not a purist, right? But you really want to work on limiting that alcohol. All right. Now, things you want to make sure you drink. We've already touched on it. Water, not from the tap. Water from either bottled water, spring water, or filtered water. All right. And then one other thing that I add, and I've got some drinks, a drink that I make, all right, that I drink every night, all right, and that drink has apple cider vinegar in it, all right, and once again, if you have gut issues, I'm going to tell you, all right, you want to make sure you're getting some apple cider vinegar in every single day. Now, here's a key point, apple cider vinegar, you never ever want to drink that stuff straight, right? You can burn your esophagus, you can cause more problems than you get good, right? So you always want to dilute it, about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons in 6 to 8 ounces of water, right? You want to dilute it down, right? Now for me, I put turmeric, cinnamon, black pepper, coconut oil, I heat it all up, put a little honey in with it as well. Heat it all up, stir it up. I drink that every single night without fail. Right? Been doing it for about the last 6 or 7 years. Right? And I swear by it. Right? All right, now almost done. Right? The last thing. Right? Last thing that I want to talk to you about that you need to add. And this is some newer research coming out on psoriasis and autoimmune in general, but exercise, all right? And I think it goes back to helping keep your blood sugar lower, but exercise plays a huge role in basically keeping, once you get your autoimmune, your psoriasis issues under control, helps keep them there, all right? And like I said, the higher the intensity, the better the outcomes. And this is research from the NIH, right? That basically shows that if the higher the intensity you can work out, basically the lower risk you have for developing autoimmune. But in particular, this study was done on psoriasis, all right? So, you know, things like we do at boot camp, all right, Tabata, all right, high intensity interval training, throwing some sprints and your walks. All right. Any of that stuff is going to help. Basically, you want to, anytime you exercise and you want to be consistent with it. I think the study said they suggested 4 to 5 days a week. But you want to be consistent with it, but you want to get winded while you're working out, right? If you're not getting winded, it's not causing the change you want in your cardiovascular system. So, like I said, those are the things. So I want to, that was a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff, right? But I want to do something real quick. Just kind of go back over what we talked about. All right. Number one. All right. First thing you got to do. And that's the wrong marker. All right. Where's my other marker? Is it in my pocket? Yep. All right. So here we go. Let's try this again. All right. First thing. You want to eliminate sugar. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but eliminate sugar, all right? Now, the next thing, and when I say eliminate, like I said, I'm a realist, not a purist, so you want to eliminate or reduce it. But if you have full-blown psoriasis right now, you want to get rid of as much of it as you possibly can, all right? The more you get rid of it, the faster you're going to get well, all right? Next thing, eliminate like ibuprofen and antibiotics. Only take them if you have to. And like I said, it's very, very important. When you take an antibiotic, even while you're on it, you want to start really pushing the probiotics. But it's really important after you're done with it if you're taking 1 teaspoon of sauerkraut, you're taking 3 or 4 after antibiotic, all right? You want to increase that good gut bacteria, all right? So sauerkraut, all right? Well, that's next. Next, you want probiotic foods. That's fermented vegetables. All right? Fermented vegetables. You want to make sure you get that in your diet every single day, all right? And remember, it's got to be cold, don't cook it, and it's got to be basically unpasteurized. You can also take a probiotic supplement. All right. Next is prebiotics. All right, prebiotics. And if you remember, all right, some of the best, what I tell you, banana. Let's see here, what was the other one? Avocado. All right. Sweet potato and yams. Those are both good. All right. And remember what I said? Pomegranate juice. Small amount every day helps improve that gut bacteria, that helps that gut lining. All right. Then after that, after the prebiotics, I'll make sure I don't miss anything here. Spices. Turmeric. Remember, black pepper with it. All right, turmeric, black pepper. All right. After spices, make sure you get your vitamins. In particular, your big ones, vitamin D. All right. Vitamin K2. All right. Magnesium, and you want to make sure you're getting your vitamin C. All right. After that, get your fat in your diet. All right, fat. Fish oil. All right. You want to get fish in your diet on a routine basis. All right. You want to avoid sugary drinks, but you want to make sure you get in plenty of good water. And remember, spring water. Findaspring.com. Findaspring.com. That's some of the, first of all, the water that you get from springs are loaded with minerals, right? Good for you, right? And don't forget your apple cider vinegar, right? Apple cider vinegar. But remember, apple cider vinegar. What have you got to have? It's got to be diluted. All right, it's got to be diluted. And then, last but not least, you got to exercise. All right, you need to exercise on a routine basis. All right. So, what I will tell you is that pretty much does the training. All right, it's got the training done. What I will tell you is this. All right, if you have questions of any kind about this, you can put them in the comments, and I will be happy to drop those in the comments as well. All right, I'll answer them the best I can. But like I said, I hope you got some benefit from this. What I will tell you is, if you look at my elbows, guys, they were totally rashed up in 2011. All right, and I got clear around July, August of 2012, and have been clear ever since. All right. I also had psoriatic arthritis at the time of my elbows. Man, it hurt to do push-ups, hurt to do bench press, and pretty much worked my way through that as well. All right. So, like I said, the best thing you can do, I'm telling you, guys, food is medicine. All right. Better than any kind of medication you're going to get from a pharmacy. All right. Food is good medicine. You just got to get rid of the bad stuff and put the good stuff in. All right. And I'm just telling you, I'm talking from psoriasis. That's what I had. That was the autoimmune thing I had. But any type of autoimmune is going to be helped with this. All right. So, like I said, if you got more questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. If you don't want to do that, hey, message me. All right, you can message me and direct message me, and I will answer your questions if I have an answer. All right. So hope this helps, and you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. All right. Thank you, guys.